club celebrating its 50th year this season. So history today for the Manly side, and a fair crowd has turned out to cheer on the minor premiers of last year. You look at their side, a new face there in the front row, former rugby boy Matthew Gaberina. Joined Manly last season, but now makes his starting debut today in the Manly colours. A little bit of rain for the start of this match too. Cliffy Lyons, some old stages in this Manly side. Cliff Lyons, Dave Gillespie, Des Hasler lining up for yet another season. And now the South Sydney Rabbitohs, well, not so mighty at 95, in fact just 4 wins and a draw. And their last appearance of 95 was against Manly, and that was a 32 points to 4 loss. Their trial form has been marginal, but they tell me they're fired up for today. Craig Field, the man on screen there, he really does hold the key to their hopes. He'll captain the side, and that is the Rabbitohs lineup. An old head there in the second row, Craig Salvatore. The Rabbitohs were disappointed with their trial form. Most recently a big loss last weekend to Western Suburbs, but now that it's on, we're down to the serious stuff and 2 competition points up for grabs. Their coaching staff hoping that the players will really fire up for this one. Jack Elsgood will have us underway. Jack Elsgood taking the goal-kicking duties for Manly today. David Manson, the man in charge. So we're underway with Manly running from left to right, and the Rabbitohs only a shallow kickoff. Salvatore fielding it. It was an awkward bounce just outside the 20. I'm sure that wasn't what Jack Elsgood had in mind when he placed the ball for the start of play. And the Rabbitohs looking for some early gusto from their forwards. That was Corin Redding who hit the ball up. Now the follow-up from Martin Marcella. What a checkered season he had last year. Of course, that 10-match suspension. The Rabbitohs just outside their own 30. And Francis it is who charges his way through the line. First crack in the Manly defence. Francis a real tearaway in the South Sydney forward pack. Will Robertson, dummy half, held back a pass that would have been forward. The kick is well placed. Elsgood all the way back to the corner and over the sideline. So an impressive start from South Sydney.
Yeah, Manly wouldn't want to take this South team lightly. There's some good players in this team, especially the man who put the kick in there, Craig Field. Very skillful, very talented. And the South man through and through, and of course a big game expected from Craig Salvatore today. He was playing, making his debut after playing at East for many, many years.
Scrum won by Manly, and Lions not afraid to pass that ball from inside their own 10-metre zone. Jason Sinclair was up quickly in defence. Not much hair on the top of the head of Jason Sinclair. To start 1996. For the Rabbitohs fans, it's good to see him out there. Played very little football last year because of injury. So Hasler switches it to the left side. Now Gillespie. And some nice defence came over the top, locking up the ball. Francis and Redding down below. Redding chases the man out of dummy half, Hasler. And again, there is some feeling in this South Sydney defence. They really do look as if they're on the case today, the Rabbitohs. If the early minutes are any indication. Lions now with a kick. Trying to kick away from the fullback, young Denny O'Keefe, who was one of the stars of the World Sevens. And again, an awkward bounce, and Elsgood was flying through. O'Keefe could do little more than dive on the loose ball. Now a counter-attack for the Rabbitohs. With Damien Brown, who's as big as any of the South Sydney team players, out on the wing. Head-to-head, it's quite tight between Manly and South Sydney. Over the years, they've topped the century mark, 101 matches between the two clubs. And Manly 51 wins, South's 50. The tables only reversed last year with Manly winning both clashes. And at Brookvale, pretty even as well. So the Rabbitohs from just inside their own half. Salvatore close to the action, standing almost in the tackle. Will Robinson was in support. It's the 5th tackle up for the Rabbitohs. Back to the right side. Now Sinclair. Again, they've found space with a kick, but running around Denny Moore. And back up to the 20. And again, the chase was good for the Rabbitohs. He thought about passing. Hopewate had shifted around to the outside. Manly now from deep inside their own territory. A first touch for Craig Innes, and then Tuvey back for more, and Hopewate. Nice hands from Manly.
There's some good hands down that blind side. Some poor marker work there by the Rabbits. They've got their defensive line set now.
Carroll feeding it across, and they're short on this right side. Terry Hill around the outside of his man. Now sends Elsgood down the touchline. Wilson with good defence. The linesman's flag is up.
Oh yeah, good tackle there from Shane Wilson. That was danger signs for Souths as they were short in their defensive line. And when Elsgood got it, one thought that he'd streak away for a try, but that's a copybook tackle there by Wilson.
Shane Wilson, another of the players who was hindered by injury last year for South Sydney. All up, used 49 players in first grade. So Souths with his scrum win, and Paul Mellor comes into the play. Big strong wingers in this South Sydney side, young Paul Mellor and Damien Brown. 30 metres out from their own line. This is Denny O'Keefe. His first grade debut last year as a winger. Finds himself as fullback first up this year. Robinson. Now for Tyron Smith. Dreadlocks just moving in the breeze for Tyron Smith. There's now Marcella. Taken front on by Carroll. He lost the ball. Well, Wilson's going to rule that it was reefed out of the arms, is he? I thought Marcella just dropped it cold.
It looked as though he was trying to offload it in a bit of traffic. Manson claiming he's seen a Manly hand in there somehow, and it's hard to tell from that angle, but Marcella was trying to offload.
And between the legs is the call from David Manson. Craigfield will have this touch finder to the eastern side of Brookvale. Well, here's a big chance for the Rabbitohs, and it's Corin Redding who gets it inside the 20. Crunch with a front-on tackle from Mark Carroll, but big line set out to the left side for the Rabbitohs, all the way back to the halfway mark. Martin Marcella takes the second tackle. 5 metres out from the line. They're setting themselves there now, the Rabbitohs. Bell keeps it going for Field. Cut out ball to Sinclair, fed it on, and a breakdown. Well, Denny O'Keefe just pulled the hands out of the way.
Yes, a chance there for South Sydney as they came wide. They had the numbers. They had 3 on 2 there in the end. A couple of good long balls. And here it is there. Although Manly defence is so good, it reads it well. And just a pretty ordinary pass let them down.
Nice and easy. In you go. Go for it.
So back with a scrum 10 metres out. And Lions almost brought Elsgood in. Now the quick hand. Topawati away to Innes. Innes trying to wrong step Wilson. Then links up with Denny Moore. It's a very confident-looking Manly attacking unit once they get the passes moving.
And a good tackle by Michael Francis and cover there, the second row. Well done.
Broken from the scrum. Now a penalty for inside the 10. So Manly getting a roll on with this drive. Hasler with a quick tap. So Manly stay on the attack. Inside the Souths half. Back the pass went to Gaberina. Able to stand and offload for Terry Hill. Over the 40 with a fend. Back for Gaberina. Lyons points him in the direction. Says, you go that way. And that's exactly what he does. Tackled 30 metres out from the Rabbitohs line. Now it's South Sydney's turn to defend as Gillespie. Field went low. Gillespie offloaded to Hasler. Through traffic goes Desi. Switches back inside for Tuvey. And all of a sudden, the South Sydney defensive line is looking very ragged. No one a dummy half. Gaberina a diving pass for Carroll. The play breaks down 15 metres out from the South Sydney line. Hasler, a long pass from dummy half to Lyons, really stretching the defence. Inside for Menzies. He can score a try, this bloke. Stephen Menzies scores the first try for Manly.
He can score a try, all right, and he can score one off the balls given to him by Cliff Lyons. Manly's most lethal combination in 1995 continues on its merry way in 96 as Cliff just drifts across, draws 2 or 3 in, a missed tackle there, and look at the footwork of Menzies. Beautiful stuff by him. He had a very good World Cup at the end of 95, but Lyons is the architect, as he has been for a couple of years now, about 9 of them.
.39 career tries in just the 2 seasons. Stephen Menzies. And add to that the tries he scored on the World Cup tour. I think he was the leading try scorer from the World Cup for the Aussies. What a player he is. And now the pressure on Jack Elsgood. 15 metres out. He's the first choice kicker. The kickoff wasn't much chop. His first shot at goal gets over. So Manly, 4 points into 6. Manly leading the Rabbitohs 6 points to 0. And just on that try, it's almost as if Manly have already outthought the South Sydney defence. They saw they're playing a compressed defensive pattern or a compressed defensive line. A wide pass out of dummy half, a long pass had South Sydney stretched straight from one pass from the ruck.
Well, Bozo's just about the best coach in the business these days, and he studies videos and he knows how every team plays against his team, and he's got them covered. Terry Hill.
Back with the action then, Craig Field. The Rabbitohs shaken up by that try. With the ball in their hands, they look good, South Sydney. Defensively, they've still got some problems. They conceded over 30 points a game on average in 1995, Souths. It's Manly from that 20-metre line. Mark Carroll able to make 6 metres with that hit up. Salvatore was the first man in with a tackle. Jason Bell an assist. And now Terry Hill doing the tough stuff up the middle. Ridding and also Francis make the tackle. Hasler. They look sharp around the dummy half. The Manly team. Hasler doing a good job. That time Menzies trapped in possession by Salvatore. Now 10 metres inside their own half. This is Gaberina. Stand around the 6'4", 6'5" mark. Nat Gaberina, and over the 100 kilos as well. Now Tuvey, last tackle. Lyons, that's been touched. Signalled by referee Manson. It doesn't result in anything of any drama for the Rabbitohs, as O'Keefe was able to field the kick on the full. And the Rabbitohs start this set of 6 just outside their own 30. Now Damien Brown, little right foot jink across field. Gillespie was first man in. Robinson skipped out, Ridding with his first pass from dummy half, and Tyron Smith dangerously close to the sideline as he tried to keep his feet. It was almost the worst result. It was Marcella. That's a good hit up for Souths. 10-metre gain. The Rabbitohs now 35 metres out from the Manly line. Through Craig Field and Bell. Juggling that pass, Jason Sinclair gets it. Was able to shrug away from Lyons, and Innes with a strong arm tackle gets him to ground, and Souths have used up 5 and Sinclair is injured. No time off, Sinclair able to get to his feet, but mightn't be there for too much longer as Field kicking on the last. It's a wobbly kick off the side of the boot, fielded now by Denny Moore. Not much doing at all with a kick. Not much doing with a pass either from Moore. Back now for Lyons, 10 metres out. A dummy to Hopewade, and Francis makes the tackle. And back play, Jason Sinclair still receiving attention to the right ankle, I think it is, or right knee. So Manly leading by 6 points to 0. Early try to Stephen Menzies. Hasler. Again they pass too wide out of dummy half, and again they stretch the defence. There's Innes wrapped up in the tackle of Sinclair, who's now recovered. Very quick recovery indeed. The Magic Sponge has done its trick. Manly just outside their own 20. Hasler. This time Carroll. One off the rack. Taken front on by Corin Ridding, former Western Red. And last tackle for Manly. This has been probably defensively South Sydney's best set of 6. They contained the Manly side that time. Now Denny O'Keefe. Big stuff over the top there from Mark Carroll. Rabbitohs with Brown.
A good run by Brown. He's a newcomer. I haven't seen much of him, but he's quite willing every time that the ball's kicked. He's there to take pressure off his forwards and bring one in, as does Paul Mellor.
Robinson, blindside play now for Marcella. Lyons had to leap high to try and make the tackle. He comes again, Lyons. Marcella offloaded for Robinson, so second phase play, if you like, for the Rabbitohs with Bell. He spun around off one knee, and now his run comes to an end. 25 metres out from the Manly line. So the Rabbitohs with another chance as far as field position is concerned. And inside off Francis and Carroll. They meet head on.
Carroll read that well. A nice little inside ball, but Carroll smashed him.
Every time Francis gets smashed, he just gets up, shakes the head and gets on with it. A high kick from Sinclair. I'm not sure whether a few of the South Sydney players were offside. It doesn't matter. Lyons so cool, takes the ball and back to the 20 for the restart. Old Cliffy. Already putting his mark on this match. Now Manly start the set of 6 again with Denny Moore. Gaberina. Salvatore, in fact, a collection of South Sydney defenders. Jason Bell came off worse for wear and attempting the tackle. And Cunningham burrowed low in that charge. Hasler out of dummy half, so It's gone back to the simple things just at the moment, Manly, and they've made 40 metres in this set of 6 so far. Couple of tackles remaining as Tuvey, Lyons, kicking through. O'Keefe's got his work cut out. If the ball stays in the field of play, it doesn't.
A very simple play by Manly, wasn't it? Just some straight up and down rucks, but the South defence has stopped moving up. And they're really making easy metres, and that's a nice little play. The options there, you know, it either goes into touch or there's plenty of Manly pressure there to get the ball back.
No hurry for this scrum to be formed. Manly leading by 6 points to 0. And also, when you look at the stats, Manly have won the last 5 outings between these two sides. The scrum work this time from Bell, the 5/8, and Field standing in at 5/8. As O'Keefe found a gap there. Hopewade, he was all arms trying to make the tackle. Big man on little man, and now a penalty. Was quick to make the ruling, David Manson.
Yeah, not too much in it. O'Keefe, who's having a pretty good game so far. Hopewade makes sort of a second effort there, won't let him up.
David Manson having a bit to say, keeping the South Sydney players in check. Craig Field putting plenty in the kick for the line. So here come the Rabbitohs again. Marcella, well, the head rocked back as Carroll came over the top. It was the bookends for Manly, Gaberiner and Carroll, and now extricate himself from the Carroll tackle was Marcella. There's now Ridding taking the ball over halfway, tackled by Menzies front on. Bell picks up a second man in Tyron Smith. Smith tackled that time around the ankles by Cunningham. They're 40 metres out from the Manly line. Field throws a cutout ball, put down by Wilson, dived on by Mellor, and David Manson allows play to continue. Maybe half a metre forward. There's Robinson out of dummy half, away from Elsgood. Elsgood able to wrap him up. That's 5th tackle for South Sydney. Now, what options are available for them other than the high ball, the Rabbitohs? It's with Field. Here it comes, the high ball again on the blind side. Shane Wilson's offside, the number 3 for South. Not so the 2, I thought, Paul Mellor. But penalty goes to Manly.
Yeah, interesting one here. Manson did call Wilson offside as soon as the ball went up. And Mellor wasn't, he was okay. There he goes, and Wilson's got to stay outside the 10 metres. He didn't, he put pressure on the Manly fullback. And Mellor was okay, but because Wilson was there, the penalty is justified.
Number 16.
Mark Carroll first hit up from the free kick. Robinson and Salvatore. Manson keeping good control of the match. Even with the attacking player then, he was telling Mark Carroll to watch the legs as he was trying to get to his feet from the tackle. Gillespie taken front on. One of the interchange players, Grant McQuirter, on for South Sydney. In fact, a double change. Have also brought on Paul McNicholas, who's one of the tallest players in the competition. He could play basketball for the Kings. He's around about 6'7" for South Sydney, the number 15. Manly with it. Lyons thought about kicking early in the count. The cutout ball for Hill. Straightens up the Manly attack with great effect. Over halfway, support inside and out. And great tackle front on from Denny O'Keefe. Just shut it down. Tuvey, last tackle for Manly. Carroll, wrong man in the wrong spot. Now with Lyons. There's a long floating pass. Taken by Innes, floats it forward. And over the sideline on the last tackle, so South Sydney will come up with a ball.
Some good play there for Manly. Terry Hill looks very sharp, doesn't he, early in the season? He got around Craig Salvatore there, made a nice bust. In the end, Cliffy on the last, deciding to run the football. If that pass was okay, could have been try time.
The second handling error of the match as now we see McQuirter with Field. There's half a chance here for the Rabbitohs. Salvatore feeds it on for Wilson, but no panic in that defensive line. Elsgood was confronted with 2-on-1 and just attacked the man with a ball. Now it comes away for this big young bloke, McNicholas. Hasler just cut him down quickly. Robinson for Field. Then he skips out Marcella. Sinclair. Great tackle from Innes. Loses the ball, Sinclair. Excellent defensive work from Innes, and Manly with a counter-attack from inside their own 20. Hopewade able to hop out of a tackle, then a little shuffle away from Salvatore. Finding the tackle of McNicholas. Manly with Cunningham. Up the middle he goes. Owen Cunningham, where's the support? Elsgood, he was impeded for a short while by Mellor and then goes over the sideline. Well, that's the plea coming from Elsgood. He was held back.
Well, a nice run by Owen Cunningham. Some deft footwork there. We're used to seeing AJ put a step on, but he puts a little one on, gets through, finds Elsgood, who really just, I don't know what he's doing. He tried to take advantage of that touchline there, but honestly, he shouldn't go that close to the touchline. He's claiming that maybe someone has held back. Well, he is for half a stride, but there's nothing in that.
The Rabbitohs with that scrum win, and Mellor, the man who was at the centre of the fury of Jack Elsgood on that occasion, is Field now for Sinclair. Up to halfway he goes. Getting a little closer to the action, Jason Sinclair. He is a skillful player who can create a chance for his outside men. There's now Robinson for Field. A loose pass from Field. Fielded on the bounce by Wilson. In the Manly defence with Denny Moore, who's made a shift to the centres, it would seem. And Wilson injured. There's Gillespie also in trouble at the same time. That's back on the 40-metre line.
A mistake made by South Sydney. Cement looks like he's copped a knock to the head at some stage. And Wilson down injured with a knee problem. Oh yeah, Marcella, who always runs straight and hard. There was a danger of that happening. He's down 1, 2, 3. He's down.
He's going to be counted out because time is off, and Daniel Gartner warming up to come on. Plenty of concern now for David Gillespie, and also in the Rabbitohs camp for Shane Wilson. Here's Wilson. He was twisted. Oh, that's an awkward one. The left leg was put to an angle it just shouldn't be, basically. He ain't no rubber man. And off goes Shane Wilson for South Sydney.
Tyrone Smith is back on for South Sydney.
So changes are plenty in both teams. There's David Gillespie. They were just working out which way they'll get him from the field. It's Daniel Gartner in 16, and off goes David Gillespie. We mentioned right at the top, one of the old stages in the Manly side, lining up for yet another season. It's 32 last Friday, as a matter of fact, David Gillespie. Also had Shannon Nevin come on for Manly in all of this, so I guess if they do get a chance, he'll be the #1 goal kicker. Terry Hill troubled by a cork above his left knee at the moment too, so there's a lot of problems out there for both teams. And after all that, we're back underway. Manly, after the loose play from Souths with Lyons, a dummy to Moore, just a show of the ball really from Cliff Lyons, and Innes came into the play. Hasler a dummy half. The ruck this time. Daniel Gartner with his first touch of the ball for Manly. 5 metres inside the Manly half, Gaberina. Their charge to the grand final. You can't underestimate the job that the bench players did for Manly last year, the likes of Hamono and Daniel Gartner. They played key roles. They rarely started in matches, but the work they did off the bench was outstanding and well appreciated by coach Bob Fulton. Now a simple mistake from Des Hasler. So 6-0 the score. Manly leading South Sydney. Bell slipping into half-back for all of the scrums now. Field away for Tyrone Smith, standing out in the centres, almost able to run over the top of Denny Moore. Moore was able to cling on in the tackle. An assist from Jeff Tuvey. Now Field, some nice hands there. The McQuirter. The Rabbitohs, centre field, 35 metres out from the Manly line. Robinson for Bell. His support overran him. That was Redding. Then back for a flat-footed Marcella. A shepherd behind Salvatore, and ruled so by Manson.
Oh yeah, bad luck for South. They're throwing the ball around. There's not too much running going on. There's lots of passing. This is a promising move with Marcella making half a break from nothing. And unfortunately, Salvatore had gone through. I don't know that it really impeded anyone, but Manson saw it that way.
Back with a free kick, Des Hasler on to Carroll. And he relishes the role of the free kicks and the kickoffs running from the in-goal area. Now a dummy from Gartner. Half through the gap, hanging on was Will Robinson. He had to, otherwise Gartner was away. Hasler, a dummy to the open side, back to the blind for Menzies. Salvatore fell for the dummy, then took Nevin out of the play. Now Gaberina, back it came for Gartner. This is the Manly we know, getting a roll on, 10 metres out from the South Sydney line and spread very, very wide. Tuvey, long ball for Lyons. Lyons then feeds it on for Innes and taken in the tackle, a good one from Jason Sinclair. 15 metres out from the South Sydney line. Back it comes for Nevin. He runs straight into McNicholas. And manhandled in the tackle and to the ground, still 15 metres out from the line. Lyons a dummy to the left, a loose pass. Knocked forward by Hasler. South Sydney back with it. They're hanging on, the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, he's pulled off a couple of real good tackles, McNicholas, as they spin the ball wide through Robinson. He's about 29 foot tall, and some of those blokes really can't get down low enough to tackle, but he's really committed. He's going very well.
There's a wide all Miller almost losing control of the football, then able to turn and juggle and make 10 metres. Dangerous situation for the Rabbitohs. They can't afford an error. Their side of halfway. And today they haven't made too many mistakes, the Rabbitohs, with the ball in their hands, as Bell. And here he is, the big fella, Paul McNicholas, likened by Martin Marcella, his teammate, to Mark Geyer. Marcella and Geyer, former teammates at the Tigers, as Salvatore, quick hands for Field, then for Tyron Smith. Taken around the ankles by Denny Moore. Trying to make the most of this shift to the centres with Terry Hill off the field, as Craigfield places this kick over the head of Elsgood and finds the line. So again, a constructive set of 6. Manly leads South Sydney 6 points to 0. A little warmer now with the sun out here too at Brookvale. The crowd an hour before kickoff was alarmingly small. It built up to around the 7,000 or 8,000 mark. Tuvey, the Lions. Ooh, runs into the shoulder of Tyron Smith. He's been criticised many times in the past for his tackling action. There was nothing wrong with that one from Tyron Smith. Manly from their own 20, Gaberina got through the first line. Been impressive, Matt Gaberina. He was just twice as a replacement in first grade last year, so he's debuting the starting side today. Hasler out of dummy half, puts it into top gear for Tuvey, then away for Hopawate down the left flank. An ankle tap came from Brown. Two big players out wide on opposite sides. Manly now inside South Sydney territory, standing deep. Tuvey, looping pass for Lyons. Inside ball, it goes for Gartner. It was again desperate defence, and it's the hooker Will Robinson who's proving effective as a last line of defence. Lyons a kick behind the South Sydney line. This one should find touch, will it? And lets it just trickle over the sideline. So it's set of 6 for set of 6 from both teams. They've covered the length of the field and scrums to pack down 10 metres out from the South Sydney line this time.
Both teams making some half breaks, but it's been some very good desperation defence, particularly there from Will Robinson. It looked for all money that he would streak away Daniel Gardner, but Robinson pulled off a very nice tackle. Some more replacements being made.
Richard McKell and Michael Francis into the fray again. And Salvatore, and I think it's Ridding coming from the field for the Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs from this 10-metre line, out from their own try line, and Brown able to make 5 metres from that scrum. Now for Field, hasn't elected to run with the football. This is the closest he's got to running with the ball, and almost a shepherd as Mellor had overrun the pass. Once Field elected not to throw it. Smith standing posted out wide. There was nothing doing on that left side. The Rabbitohs just for a moment a little disorganised as Francis, up he goes and hit, and down he goes quickly and straight back to his feet as Gartner got him right under the armpits. Marcella now with the ball for Souths. And Carroll with a heavy work over the top. What's more, they're putting the man to the ground, Manly, slowing up the South Sydney attack. Robinson tries a kick over the top. It was a shocker. Straight to Stephen Menzies. The kick didn't even get over his head, Stephen Menzies. And now it's put down by Manly and regathered by Hasler.
Oh, good hit there by Will Robinson on Desi Hasler. Desi got that one blind and Robinson creamed him. Forced a mistake. It'll be a South feed. It's an ordinary chip. Menzies tries to create something from it. A couple of missed tackles on him. And just poor old Desi, crunch.
News from the South Sydney bench, Shane Wilson, suspected medial ligament damage to his knee, so troubles for Shane Wilson. Terry Hill, the good news for Manly, back out there, so Shannon Nevin returns to the sideline. Now some pace shown by McQuirter, lifting it up, trying to show some urgency for the South Sydney side. They're down by 6 points to 0. This is Brown out of dummy half. He got through the first tackle of Tuvey, which isn't easy, isn't often done actually. Robinson in a dummy half. They're 30 metres out from the Manly line. The Rabbitohs trying to lift as field for Bell. Then the ball fired on the outside. The Rabbitohs, Denny O'Keefe coming into the line. They're 25 out from the line now. Bell gets out of dummy half. He runs away from his support, able to crawl his way through 2 tackles. Sloppy play the ball. Robinson for field. Last tackle, ricocheted off the thigh of Hasler, and Hasler able to dive on the ball. South Sydney's kicking game on the last, I guess, Fatty, a question mark there at the moment.
It's been pretty ordinary today, the South's kicking game in general. Some of the kicks have just been, sort of nude kicks, nothing on them, and they've got to start putting pressure on the outside backs of Manly if they want to make use of the ball.
Gaberina has a swinging left arm over the top. I mean, he's a big man, Gaberina, to get high. And Richard McKell did that time around the shoulders. There's Gartner. Up to the 30 he goes for Manly. It's as if at the moment the crowd's a little quiet. They're sitting back waiting for something to happen. The early try, they thought Manly would go on with the job. They haven't as yet. Well, there's a kick off the top. It was the last tackle from Denny Moore. He had to kick, and O'Keefe fields it well, and Lyons makes the tackle. And the Rabbitohs with it now, with Mellor. Away to Tyron Smith, who's been caught wide a number of occasions now. Taken in a 2-man tackle, Elsgood and also Hill. Rabbitohs, McKell makes just the easiest of mistakes.
Richard McKell hasn't been on there long. First touch of the football and puts it on the ground.
That could be a fateful mistake for South Sydney. Manly, I can't recall a South Sydney error inside their own half. From that point of view, they've performed well today. Manly winning that scrum. They've brought on Solomon Hamono as that scrum was packing as Lyons away to Hopewade. Good tackle, Denny O'Keefe. Very good game coming from the young fullback. This is Hamono right now getting involved in the play. He's got plenty of experience over the last season. Hasler to the blind side with Lyons. Cut out pass, Innes, then quick hands for Moore. Back inside for Innes. There's a try coming for Manly, is there? Tuvey now finds support with Hasler, and the South Sydney defence did well to come back and support. Every last man was required, and ended up 3 making the tackle on Hasler. Lyons a switch back to the blind side. Innes heavily involved, just 5 metres out from the line, taken in the tackle by Jason Sinclair. Manly right on the attack. They lead by 6 points to 0. Now it's Tuvey to Lyons, a step away from Bell. Then the defence opens right up for Hamono. He links up with Menzies, and it's try number 2. The long striding second rower for Manly gets another one. Manly 10, South Sydney 0.
Manly showing a great deal of patience to finally come up with this second try. It's been beckoning for a while now. It really comes, watch the South player sprint out of the line. As soon as the South player does that, there's always going to be a try on. There's gaps all over the place. And Steve Menzies, man on the spot, he's playing out very wide. Jason Bell, of course, the man who did sprint out of that line, puts a lot of pressure. You know, if he doesn't make the tackle on his teammates, and hence the try.
Chalk up another 4-pointer for Steve Menzies, and now another 2 points for Jack Elsgood, making good fist to the goal-kicking duties. And Manly in the box seat, leading the Rabbitohs by 12 points to 0. Carroll off for the first time in the match for Manly. Gaberina also off, so the double change for the front rowers for Manly. Well, the game, a chance now getting away from the South Sydney side. They need to at least hold on until half-time, and if they can come up with points, as charging back was Hamono. Played a big part in that try. Fulton with his first touch. Now away for Hasler. getting his chance to run one off the ruck for Manly. 15 metres inside their own half. Fulton for Hamono. And Gartner on his outside. Well, he's beaten two. Just pushed them both away like shopping trolleys. And Hamono rounded up 5 metres short of halfway. Fulton now with it. Cutting out Menzies with a pass. Tuvey on the Lions. Hill on his outside. Dummies turned Bell around. Now Hill puts it into top gear and he's away. On the outside, Innes will have his first try in the Optus Cup for Manly. And now they go right into top gear, the Sea Eagles. In a matter of minutes, 6-0 has become 16-0.
Yes, well done by the Manly back line there. Once again, Clippy Lyons, the architect. Some good runs earlier by Solomon Hamono. Got them up to the halfway area. Look at that south line. It's like a boomerang. And then Terry Hill just strolls through, and Craig Ennis, well, that's lovely running style by him, straight under the post for Manly's third. I mean, in any defensive situation, you've got to have a straight line. And South at this stage wouldn't know what a straight line was. And this is very easy stuff for a very classy Manly back line.
Craig Innes, a former All Black, very handy acquisition, played with the Western Reds last year, 10 first-grade appearances, and has been one of Manly's best in the trials. This is Elsgood again. He'll like this all afternoon from right in front. Elsgood, not too much power in the kick. He doesn't need him from 10 metres out. Look at the scoreline. 3 tries to 0, 3 goals, 18-0 for the Sea Eagles. Last kick-off that this was the testing time for the Rabbitohs. Well, it's the same situation now, except it's 6 points worse, as 18-0 and 6 minutes remaining before half-time. The way the Rabbitohs are going just at the moment, or rather the way Manly are going, they've got time to put on a couple of 4-pointers. Craig Field. Another kick-off a little too soon as far as he's concerned. And Hopawade to his twin Hamono. And over the 20 he went, tackled there by McNicholas. 25 out from their own line. Manly starting to show that form that took them to the minor premiership in 1995 and of course all the way to the grand final. They lost only 3 matches last year. The tragedy, of course, the Manly supporters was that one of those games was the grand final. They're playing this ball 10 metres short of halfway, and Hamono, what an impact he's had since coming onto the field. He's basically every second play at the moment for Manly. Fulton away for Tuvey. Lions now on for Menzies. Lovely hands from Hill to Elsgood. Now some space. Elsgood straightens up, comes back in field. The pass was called forward. Well, I thought it was all right.
It must have come from the touch side. It's a very late call there. It's all right from where we sat, right in line with it. And maybe the touchdown's got it right.
Here's the wider view. I don't think he got it right. I'm sure the pass was thrown backwards. Souths desperate for points as Tyron Smith.
Well, they really need to put some points on the board to give them some, added enthusiasm, because at the moment, that's just added to their woes. Their heads are down like beaten favourites, and they're strolling back at kickoffs and talking amongst each other. Not too much positive talk there, I feel.
Every reason to be despondent. That was the first tackle, and Tyron Smith, the player, penalised. Lions this kick, a 20-metre gain for Manly. So approaching half-time, and South Sydney again called to arms in defence as Tyron Smith comes up with a first tackle. Manly 35 metres out from the Rabbitohs line. It's been a terrible last 5 or 10 for the Rabbitohs in defence. And Fulton in a dummy half for Lions. Lions calling the shots now. Cunningham to Tuvey, knocked back from Jeff Tuvey, then able to regain his feet and regain the ball and make a couple of metres. Play had basically broken down for Manly. Still 35 out. Fulton now not looking to pass that time, and Salvatore over the top in defence for the South Sydney side. Now 30 metres out from the line. Tuvey, Lyons tries a kick over the top. It's holding up. Field is wrong-footed. Menzies takes it on the fly, then gets through one, tries to take O'Keefe over the line. Menzies, if he can get to his feet and play it forward, would have had a 4-pointer. Hill out of dummy half is tackled, and that is the last. Well, how have South Sydney hung on there?
Well, they've hung on through the services. They're probably their best player in Denny O'Keefe, saving a try because it looked like Menzies, after brushing a couple off, was going to go in for the try, but O'Keefe's in desperation defence saved the day for them.
Great escape from South Sydney on that occasion, all thanks to Denny O'Keefe. Just all the skills. Here's the kick. Uncontested for Stephen Menzies.
Gets through to 1-2, and O'Keefe just hanging on like a limpet mine and wouldn't let go.
What?
World War II, mate. Read your history.
Francis. Over the 30 he goes. Robinson in the dummy half for South Sydney. So they've escaped one situation. Can they create something of their own? I just don't know where it's going to come from. Maybe here as Field away to McNicholas.
Yeah, they needed one more man there.
Bell out of dummy half. It's the last tackle here for South Sydney. Away it goes to McKell. He puts in what's a dusty-looking kick.
Oh, kicking skills by McKell.
Very interesting indeed. Came off the instep. And a good 3 or 4 metre gain from Richard McKell.
Craig Field, I feel as though he must start running to the line a little bit more to create things like he just did for McNicholas.
What was going through the mind of McKell? Was he thinking bomb, chip over the top, or grubber sideways for the sideline? He went for the third option. So this scrum, a messy one. Went through the tunnel.
Get the outside leg up. Get the outside leg up. Pass it. That's it there.
Nearly time for this scrum to pack down up to half-time. Manly winning it. They'll have one last crack at this South Sydney line. Lions behind the back of Hopewade. A chance here for Sinclair. He gets an air swing. The Rabbitohs with O'Keefe 5 metres out from the line. Well, there's just seconds up to half-time. Sinclair from dummy half for Field. The Rabbitohs with the numbers on the right side for Bell. Then away for Brown, who tries to steam his way over in the corner and doesn't get there. That time it's Manly's turn to save the day.
Yeah, some desperation defence. The mistake made from the scrum by the Eagles. They've thrown it straight out wide. And the big fellow Brown, good tackle by Danny Moore.
Well, good finish to the first half. The closest South Sydney have come to getting points on the board, but it's the Sea Eagles in control at the break. We'll take a break with Manly leading the Rabbitohs 18 points to 0. Welcome back. The task ahead of the Rabbitohs for this second half, down by 18 points to 0. And you'd have to say the last 10 minutes, I guess, could be summed up as dusty from the Rabbitohs for that first half. Field it is then who has us back underway, and the Rabbitohs, I'm sure, have had a little bit of a blast at half-time to get them back on the case. They started the first half with plenty of vigour. They have to maintain that for the full 40 minutes and hopefully score first in this half as Carroll gets it outside the 20 for Manly, taken in the tackle by Craig Salvatore. And Manly quick to try some blindside play, that time with Gartner. Salvatore again came over the top. Field was down below. Field chases out of marker. Does a good job, Craig Field, to make the tackle. So he's got the message. Is now Hasler able to steal 6 or 7 metres out of dummy half. That time tackled by Jason Sinclair. And Manly have used up 5 tackles. Pass away from Moore and Hamono on the last tackle. Flung to ground, not quite. Menzies now places the kick. Sends Elsgood on the charge. O'Keefe has the kick covered. That's pretty good last tackle play. I'm not sure whether it was what they had planned when Hamono got hold of the football, but he was able to make the bust. And The Rabbitohs from 10 out from their own line. Some of the South Sydney players, Craig Salvatore only just getting back on side now. That was after 3 plays in the set of 6. And caution here for Des Hasler.
Yeah, he's got Desi. Desi's been doing this jumping up. It's an old habit of his, which he hasn't got rid of. I don't think he ever will, but no malice intended, but still a high tackle. And South really did need this. They need them all.
The touch finder, finding 35 metres with a kick. Free kick with Will Robinson. Now for Corin Ridding. Doesn't appear to have too much to his game. It's a fairly simple matter of hitting the ball up. Trying to crash through the line rather than step them or offload. Now Robinson for Bell. And on for Field. Not quite the same precision as Manly is showing in attack as Tyron Smith tried to get those arms free. Tuvey was over the top. Cunningham down below. Sinclair dummies to the blind side. There was no one falling for that. And South Sydney now 29 metres out from the Manly line, still in search of their first points. Field now for Ridding. That time he tried a little step. The defence having none of it. 5th tackle for the Rabbitohs, 25 out from the line. Been a while since they tried the high ball. This is Bell, flick behind the back for Field. He kicks for the corner. Hopewade getting across, gets a bounce into the in-goal area. And safety first football at the back from John Hopewade.
A bit better stuff also from the Rabbitohs. A nice little kick there on the end of that backline movement. A positive kick as opposed to what they were doing in the first half. And there was a half a chance there all of a sudden for the South to score, but Hopper had it covered.
First chance in the match then for the Rabbitohs to put on some sort of sustained attack. They get a second set of 6 inside Manly's territory. If he lines the line dropout. And it's not a deep one either. Field will get this, 35 out from the Manly line. And away to Marcella from the back. He runs across Field, now straightens up, taken around the legs by Cunningham. So centre field on the first, 25 metres out from the Manly line. This is with Brown. He's been told to get more involved and taken in that tackle by Daniel Gartner. Amono the assist. And a knock on from dummy half was the call from Robinson. He had 2 cracks at picking up the ball, and now the little bloke O'Keefe gets involved again. He looks dangerous every time he's got the ball in his hands, O'Keefe. Now with Robinson for Field. Away for Salvatore. Inside pass for Bell. Flung to ground by Hasler. 10 out from the Manly line. Rabbitohs set to the left, and then Ridding just hits it up straight. And that takes us up to the 5th tackle. Interesting play on the 5th. There's now for Bell. Across the line for Field again. Oh, great pickup. What about that from Daniel Gartner? Now into top pace. He's got support in Menzies from the 40-metre line. Stephen Menzies, he's going to outpace Craig Field. That is a remarkable rugby league try from Manly. First the pickup from Gartner, then the pace, and finished off for a hat-trick for Stephen Menzies.
Oh, they're such a classy team, aren't they, Manly? That was a chance then for South Sydney to maybe put some points on the board. It's a kick that's gone horribly wrong. Couldn't get through the line. Gartner picks it up. And Menzies, he spots the fact that Gartner's away. Field chasing. Menzies on the boil. Look at him go. Give Craig Field some credit. Chased all the way. And Menzies, that lovely running style he's got.
Well, Menzies running. Every stride he takes, it took Field 2 to catch up. And the strain on the face of Stephen Menzies. Tremendous talent. Great football from the Sea Eagles. From 3 thus far for Jack Elsgood, using the plastic tee for the conversions. So another string to the bow of Jack Elsgood. This one swings around off the crossbar and then goes over. Oh, it's all happening for Manly. 24-0 over South Sydney here at Brookvale. The luck's in. He only just up and had enough power in the kick. He hit the black dot, certainly straight enough. The entertainers. And again from Souths, the slow walk back to halfway. From their best attacking chance, it became a nightmare for them. A runaway try for Manly. A few players almost overrunning the kick-off there. Manly leading by 24 points to 0, and back comes Mark Carroll, a former Rabbitoh. You do think Hormono is, well, his presence on the field has stepped Manly right up to the form they showed last year. It was only 6-0 when he came onto the field, and his involvement has been first class. And is damaging with the ball in his hands. Here he is again, Hormono, and that time he didn't get a pass away, and the Rabbitohs with a quick turnover. Salvatore, a dummy to Mella. Spun away from one almost. Salvatore taken to ground, 25 metres out from the Manly line. Left and right that they can go. They go left with McNicholas. The Lions made it look easy, the tackle. Just got around the back of him and got him to ground. Robinson for Bell. Now for Marcella. The South Sydney halves aren't running with the ball. Every time they get it, they're just feeding it on. Both Bell and Craigfield. Now Robinson from dummy half. He links up with Tyron Smith, just 9 metres out from the line. Grass-cutting tackle from Jeff Tuvey. The Rabbitohs still applying the pressure. Last tackle, standing deep field. Across he comes to Sinclair. Sinclair trying to turn O'Keefe inside with a dummy. Now gets a loose pass for Brown. And again, the last tackle play from South Sydney has left a lot to be desired.
Well, no matter what they try, the Manly defence is just too good for them at the moment. Only one clean Souths break all match. And the Manly defence reading everything Souths are doing. Sinclair drifting across the field, but still plenty of Manly defence there to control them.
Time it was Innes with a tackle. Manly now with Mark Carroll, centre field. Few settlers here from the Manly side. They're only 35 out from their own line, and Hasler takes off for an easy 10. Impressive as always and busy as always, Des Hasler in today's match. Cunningham a dummy half. He'll make another 10, go straight through some poetry defence from the Rabbitohs. Going high was Grant McQuirter. Loose with the arms and the tackle. Last tackle, Manly with Tuvey, a step away from Marcella, then finds support in Gartner. Lines on his outside, inside for Tuvey. Now for Hasler. Overhead ball touched by Sinclair, then for Innes, and Manly have topped the last try. That's an even better one. The Sea Eagles on fire, 28 points to 0.
And the scorers are in trouble here because this could develop into an embarrassment now for South Sydney. Manly just carving them up. This has come from nothing. Jeff Tuvey, good ball there to Gartner, and then some inside balls. This is a beauty from Tuvey back inside to Hasler. A floater, a speculator, found Lyons, and Innes, he's a classy player, this bloke. But Tuvey, he'll have a good year this year. Dogged by injury, I felt last season, a little bit slow. He seems to have got his pace back. And Hasler, well, the evergreen. He's just everywhere. And Innes positions himself very well.
Fans quickly this bloke, Craig Innes. I think they've already taken him to heart. One of the most outstanding players in the trials we mentioned earlier. Last week, he got a try-double in their last trial of the pre-season for Manly. That was against the Tigers. And this is the testing material for Jack Elsgood. Doesn't have much power in the kicks. He could struggle from the sideline. So right on that touchline, 20 metres out. He's got the distance, certainly just swings away from the left and upright. In fact, he didn't have the distance. It pulled up cold. So, Manly, they lead South Sydney by 28 points to 0. It's a deceptive angle, this one, for the kick. Pulled up a good 5 metres short. So Elsgood, he's only a short-term measure, you would think, for Manly, but if they can score runaway tries and score them close to the post, they won't have any troubles at all. Time to get running the call from Manson. Craigfield, plenty of kickoffs for him for South Sydney today. An unhappy start to their And a 96 Optus Cup campaign as Hormono juggling, loses the ball. The Rabbitohs, quick turnover. McNicholas away to Bell, through the tackle of Lyons. Over the top it came for Mella. Excitement for the Rabbitohs fans, 10 metres out from the Manly line. From 28-0 down, looking for that four-pointer. Elusive four-pointer, terrible pass from field. And then Sinclair for O'Keefe coming into the line. Brown a dummy half, still on the attack South Sydney. Sinclair across to Marcella, he straightens up the point of attack. And taken to ground by Mark Carroll right in front of the Manly posts. Robinson a dummy half. Ridding, here comes that straight hit up, a wrap around that time. Some good variation from the Rabbitohs, but Bell is tackled. Still 5 out from the line. The Manly defence impregnable at this stage. South Sydney, and now going for a charge is Big Salvo. He almost gets over the line. He thought about reaching out, but Tuvey held him back. Last tackle for South Sydney. Still 5 out. Bell tries a kick for the corner. Mella goes high. Was he offside? He scores the try, and Manson is going to allow it for South Sydney, a fair four-pointer. So the Rabbitohs are on the board. Bell with a kick, which I reckon he pulled out of his back pocket.
Well, they've been searching for this for a long time. It's like trying to find Atlantis, trying to score a try against Manly. There's the mistake. Originally from the Eagles, and on the end of the set of 6, a nice little kick there from Bell. How far offside was he? But 28-4, it doesn't really matter. The referee just missed that one and awards the try.
Mella out leaping Elsgood. His head went over the touch in goal, but he got the ball down first. So try to Paul Mella. Duties with Craig Field, like Jack Elsgood. He's not a powerful kicker of the football, and this one from the sideline, he's taken it back 25 metres. Looking for a confidence lift. And the try as a result of a South Sydney error. Field has swung this one back from the sideline.
What a kick.
So the Rabbitohs, something to cheer about. Manly leading South Sydney by 28 points to 6. Well worth having another look at. He swung it back from a good 10 metres to the right of that right upright. Great kick.
It might lift them. They haven't played too badly in attack today, South, but their defence has been ordinary, but maybe that'll lift them.
This is rare for Manly, a restart, and Elsgood. They haven't done that since the very first moment of the match as Marcella. In a fairly strong game from Martin Marcella for the Rabbitohs. Robinson now with Ridding, lifted in the tackle, then back for Robinson. The support men standing very deep for the next play. Bell then to Tyron Smith, never had control of the football, and Manly come up with it. So any momentum they had was crashed and burned, and Manly with it 10 metres inside the Rabbitohs half, and this is Gardner. Fulton, the dummy half. Manly with Hormono. Sing his praises enough at the moment. Solomon Hormono, likewise Daniel Gartner, those bench players excelling for Manly today here at Brookvale, as now it's with Hasler. He tried to jump his way through that tackle from Will Robinson. His tackle count is up there with the leading players for the Rabbitohs at the moment. This is Lyons. Dummy, straight through the gap he goes, Cliff Lyons. Good tackle from behind by Grant McWhirter. He's able to play the ball forward now, Cliff Lyons. 5 metres out from the line, inside for Gartner. And last line of defence for South Sydney. They're happy to see that it is the last tackle for Manly. Fulton, they go to the blind side with Lyons. Quick hands then for Hill. He almost rolled over the try line. And changeover rules referee David Manson. It's the urgency in the play when they want to step it up. Manly can do that. Let's look at the fingers, and there it was. Terry Hill close to scoring, and Danny O'Keefe again called into the action. So Souths in the meantime with Ridding just over the 20. Robinson trying blindside. Salvatore, dummy. Gaberin are not falling for it. Salvatore has lost it. Manly should come up with the ball. Who wants it? Elsgood does, and he's away. Jack Elsgood trying to step, and Tyron Smith has collared him and has copped a caution.
Pretty ordinary play there from South Sydney. The mistake made. No South player keen enough to jump on the football. Salvatore and Gaberin are having a blue in the background. And then that high shot.
Terry Hill again, he troubled by that knee injury early in the match. I think that's the last we've seen of him for this game. Bottom line is Manly on the attack, 20 metres out from the line and threatening more points. There's Fulton away for Gaberna. Stands in the tackle there of McWhirter. Salvatore off the field for the Rabbitohs. Michael Francis back on. Fulton to the blind side. Gartner with a right foot step. Taken in the tackle of Tyron Smith. 12 out from the line. 28 points to 6. Manly leading South Sydney as Tuvey. A little stutter. Back it came for Hasler. He races around. Gets the pass to Gaberna. Still 15 metres out from the line. Gaberna decides that time to take on the defence, but he runs into players equally his height. Nick Nicholas and also Redding. Now with Tuvey. Longer passes here from the Manly side. Lyons, beautiful ball to Hamono. Back for Menzies in search of try number 4. Cut down, 10 out from the line. It was Robinson who made the tackle. This is the last for Manly. Lyons kicks for the corner. Here comes Jack Ellsgood. Ellsgood flies high and scores. Oh, Manly, some spectacular stuff from the Sea Eagles. And Ellsgood just too high, too good. 32 points to 6.
They'd hung on South Sydney, but not once Cliffy Lyons gets involved. And he can see it out wide that the defensive line, it's not spread enough. Ellsgood's out there on his pat and jumps too well for Miller to get another Eagles try. But Cliffy Lyons has had a pretty good game here today. He made some busts. He set up a couple of tries, defended very well.
Right in control, the Manly side. South Sydney with a couple of errors. After that first try they put on the board, not what they wanted. And Manly have just gone on with a job, and that's the sign of a very good side, which we know they are. We've mentioned only losing 3 matches last year. 2 of them were at home. As a matter of fact, through the competition rounds, 22 rounds of football, the only matches they lost were at home. Change of kicker now for Manly with Shannon Nevin on the field, relieving the try scorer Jack Ellsgood of the duties. Nevin with this kick, 5 metres in from touch, just beyond the 20-metre line. And he's got the power, has he? Headed for the black dot and straight over. Shannon Nevin for Manly gets another 2. Not that many flags here, but a few fluttering in the breeze at 34 points to 6. The kick from Nevin, just struck it beautifully. Good stuff from the Manly goal kicker. I've got to say, the fans from both teams become a little disheartened when you see a team walk so slowly back to halfway. It's been happening since the very first try. And Field. They've gone through this process a number of times today. This time he decides to go straight down the centre of the ground, and Tuvey back on his own goal line. And straight through he goes. Well, that just shouldn't happen, should it? Tuvey at only half speed found a gap, and back over the 20 he went. Lyons. There's another one of the dummies. Tuvey wants another hit up. He gets it this time to the 30-metre line. A tough job coming up with our Optus man of the match today. $1,000 cheque at the end of it all. Plenty of contenders out there. Manly 15 metres inside their own half. Fulton for Hamono this time. Rifles that pass to Gartner. Trying to pick him up, and the tackle was Field, and he was still able to carry the ball another 5 or 6 metres. This time Hamono. Taken by Field, offloaded for Menzies. It's a confident Manly side now with the football in their hands. Here's the 5th tackle, and Menzies a sloppy play the ball for Hamono. Can they get a kick away? Innes tried and failed. Picked up there. Oh, McKell's put it down. So he rules a double knock on, so at least Souths will have the feed. In fact, it'll be the changeover for the first error. Here it is here. There's the big miss. And McKell puts it down. It's a tough old day for the Rabbitohs. Let's hope it's not a sign of things to come for the season, as Brown, best intentions at the start of the day, and things have just gone wrong. They look good for the first 20. There's now Bell across from McWhirter. Little dummy, not fallen for that time by Lyons or Daniel Gartner. The Rabbitohs with Bell. Blindside for Marcella. He's got no one on the outside. Threw a pass inside. And the Rabbitohs losing the ball that time. Will Robinson.
He's played pretty well, Marcella, today, but talk about pressure passes. He just shouldn't throw those sort of balls. Get 4 or 5 as Manly go wide now.
Tuvey. That pass came off Smith, was it? Smith has picked it up. And the knock-on ruled against South Sydney.
You talk about pressure passes. This one for Danny Moore was Harry Hospital knocked down there, and then Tyron Smith lucky to escape with just a scrum. Referee, the touchies coming now to report the fact that he pulled a Manly player away.
Tyron gets the call. If Tuvey had a look on his face as if he was the one down by 34 points to 6. The caution for Tyron Smith, there was nothing in it, bar being pulled back off the play. Here it is here. Throws Tuvey to ground. I don't really think it necessitates the game being held up for 30 seconds.
I'll tell you to be organised, nice and easy. Nice and easy. 3 foot forward.
Manly from this point of the field looking to attack. Lyons. Elsgood quick to wrap around off that right wing. Straight away the scrum is broken and the player's ready to receive the football. Hasler takes it this time, taken by a replacement player for South Sydney, Anthony Hancock in jumper 30. This is Gaberina. I'm sure Coach Bob Fulton would be very happy with the efforts today of Matt Gaberina. He's been a hard man to pull down as far as the South Sydney defence is concerned. This is Gartner. The headlock applied over the top that time from McKell. Back it came for Innes. A breakdown there on the line for Manly. Innes tries to step away from Sinclair. And that takes some of the gloss off this set of 6 for Manly. It is the 5th, and they're only 30 metres out from their own line. Tuvey for Lyons. Lyons then puts boot to ball. Not a deep kick at all. Placing it in front of Paul Mellor. It bounces away from Mellor, then for O'Keefe and the dummy. And tackled 5 metres short of halfway. 34 points to 6 then as Mellor takes on the defence, and they're there in numbers, a cluster of defenders right on halfway. Gaberina, Fulton and also Gartner. This time it's McKell. He's able to assist to the tally of metres, a 6-metre gain and then an offload. Back for Hancock, putting some pace in the South Sydney attacking work. Gets it inside the 40 now. And the Rabbitohs standing to the left side. Field comes round. He's been rare that Craig Field has run the football today. Marcella gets away from the defence. He's headed for the sideline. Not quite. Quick play the ball from Martin Marcella. Good work. They weren't back the 10 that time, Manly, as Brown came infield. Tackled now inside the 20. That's the last tackle for the Rabbitohs. Well, will they try a high ball versus Shannon Nevin as it comes across to Sinclair standing at 5'8". Then he spirals the pass out for Mellor. He tries a drop kick, or rather a grubber kick behind the line. Drop kick would be good from wide out, 15 metres out.
Well, a better play there from South Sydney as Nevin sprints through. We saw a nice ball from McKell, a good run from Marcella. Some good lead-up play for this final tackle. But once again, nothing coming off there for the Bunnies.
Manly running it from their own 20, and Scott Fulton. Solomon Hamono in the meantime has been replaced. David Gillespie back in action for the Manly side. Good to see him back out there after a heavy knock early. As tough as they come, David Gillespie. Plenty of his opponents from previous seasons know that. There's a good tackle from Robinson. Calling that man Gillespie. Last tackle for Manly. Tuvey with it. Now Lyons. Lyons runs it right up to the line. Then got the pass to Denny Moore. He's held up and tackled. And changeover comes the way as far as the Rabbitohs are concerned.
Yeah, unfortunate for Manly there that Elsgood probably overran the pass. All wingers should, keep 1 or 2 steps back. See, Elsgood's in line with Moore there. What chances he's got if Moore gets through? There it is there. One step back and he gets the ball his away.
Back on for Manly, number 13, Owen Cunningham.
That's South Sydney's turn with the ball. Michael Francis upended in the tackle by Menzies. 3 tries for Stephen Menzies today. Great way to start the year for Manly. Now McWhirter under a high tackle attempted by Hasler. The Rabbitohs with Bell at first receiver. They run 2 decoy runners for field, then a little dummy to the inside. Wider out to Tyron Smith, who's just lost his hands in the second half. Now back for Hasler. So the Rabbitohs players breaking down. They've got plenty of work to do between now and their next match. Manly from outside their own 20. This is Gillespie, taken front on by Hancock. Again able to get him to ground. Carroll waiting to come back into the action. Interchange system being used well by coach Bob Fulton as Menzies goes through the centre. The South Sydney defence turn their backs. Martin Marcella was getting back on side and saw Menzies run straight past him. There's now Lyons 30 metres out for Cunningham. Tries to get the hands free. An intercept comes the way for South Sydney. And Craig Field wants to quick play the ball.
Yeah, OJ threw the intercept but also made the tackle as Sinclair lopes up looking for some support.
Brown's the man he's looking for. Now Brown's got the ball in his hands, but it's too late to cause any damage.
He looks like a front row or second row playing on the wing, doesn't he? Looks out of position. He's had a fair game all the same. Brown.
This time it's Hancock. Inside Manly's half. There's a few players down on their haunches though for South Sydney, even though they've got the ball in their hands. Smith was receiving attention in back plays. They lose the ball. Sinclair also getting some attention from the South Sydney trainers. The Rabbitohs able to cling to possession. Now with Bell. Up to the line he goes. Taken. Put down by Carroll and Tuvey. Can they find something in the bag, the South Sydney side? This is Marcella. Now away to Francis. Through he goes. Tries to step Nevin. Nevin, courageous defence front on against a man who was on the charge. Now with Field. Inside for Sinclair. Sinclair cut down by Menzies. 5 metres out from the Sea Eagles line. Field as a dummy half. They run a decoy with McWhirter. Now for Marcella. Marcella a dummy to Robinson, and somehow the ball has just spilled loose. Manly back with it with Nevin from 10 metres out from their own line. In South Sydney, it breaks down again at the critical moment. Poor old Rabbits. They are doing it tough out there at the moment. They certainly don't get any let up once Manly have the ball in their hands, as Cunningham puts it down and then Fulton in an offside position picked it up, but the scrum ruled by referee David Manson.
Drop
ball.
15 for Nicholas.
Can they close it up? 28 points the difference at the moment.
And on the South, number 12 for Craig Salvatore.
And again, the interchange being used for Craig Salvatore, his third foray into this match. There's the scrum Bell, who's basically been halfback for all the scrums in this match. Sinclair had to dive forward to take that pass from Craig Field that floated forward. There's mentioned earlier, the precision just hasn't been there with the South Sydney passing. Doesn't make it easy for the outside men. As that time, McNicholas was tackled just on the 20. Up like the hunchback of Notre Dame with a jersey over the head is now Francis. Tries to get through the line, 11 metres out from the line. Manly's end of the field. The Rabbitohs with Robinson. Away for Marcella. At least he's trying. He tries a pass inside, which is play on for South Sydney. And it was fielded there by Salvatore. This time with Bell. He tries a step inside for Field. Now back for Francis. He spun away from Carroll, Michael Francis, and cut down in the tackle by Cement Gillespie. Last tackle for South Sydney. Field tries a higher ball this time. Hopewadi under pressure. South up high. Was it McNicholas who went high, and has he scored? No, says referee David Manson. It's spectacular stuff from big Paul McNicholas.
Yeah, he's running back thinking he scored a try, but in actual fact it's been a double movement against McNicholas, as he doesn't go too high. He is very, very tall. He comes down and the ball grounded, and then he forced it. So double movement, correct decision made by Manson. One player who has impressed me for South Sydney today has been the number 11, Michael Francis. At least he's run hard and straight. He's had a couple of half breaks. And for Manly, they've had their share of good performance. Jeff Tuvey, Cliff Lyons have played well. Owen Cunningham and Desi Hasler around the rucks has done a lot of work.
This bloke to Daniel Gartner tackle 25 metres out. Now there's a touch judge on here. Not quite sure whether he's referring to this play which has just happened or an earlier incident. It's this tackle that they're going to look at. Corin Ridding. It's on the referee's blind side. It's for picking up. Let's see what happens. Ridding, oh, big swing. Just cuffs him with a forearm. Only now with Fulton from the free kick. Mono, just a little breather on the sideline. Back he comes at 100 miles an hour. Now Fulton inside South Sydney's half for Gillespie. Able to pass in the tackle of McKell. McKell trying to get to the loose ball. He chases through. A determined effort from McKell. He's forced the Manly line back 15 metres. The tackle count has restarted though with Lyons. Back it comes there for Gartner. Manly back inside their own half now. Leading by 34 points to 6. And this is Stephen Menzies who steps off the left foot. And look, there was no pace about the movement. The step wasn't done at any great rate of knots, but he was still able to evade two defenders as Tuvey runs off Lyons, then finds Gartner inside for Denny Moore. He skips out Denny Moore and selectively picks out Shannon Nevin to score the try. Well, he had two players to pick from, and that's just the way it goes with the top side, supporting the ball carrier.
Oh, that's how good they are. Once again, it wasn't a bad defensive line on this occasion by South Sydney. Look at all those red and green jumpers, but Cliff has manufactured something. Tuvey, some pretty poor defence there. Couple of missed tackles, and there's Manly jumpers everywhere. Nevin, the lucky man who gets the try. Cliffy and Jeff Tuvey, great pair of halves. Daniel Gartner's done some great work as well.
He gets hit hard here too in the tackle, just out of screen. He's still receiving attention for Manly, but Nevin able to finish off the try. To his feet then, Daniel Gartner. Stat as the line breaks in this match. There's one for South Sydney. Here's Daniel Gartner. His head hits the ground fairly hard in the hit.
And that was Danny O'Keefe again. He's, along with Francis, been just about their best player.
Nevin then from right in front, using the yellow tee, this to get it to 40 points. 1 from 1 for Shannon Nevin, and that's now 2 from 2. Some anguished looks on the faces of Alan Jones and Ken Shine at 40 points to 6. Manly over the Rabbits. Rousing reception then for Des Hasler. He leaves this match 6 minutes from full time. Fantastic effort from this bloke. Is he now 34, Des Hasler?
Oh, he's 35, and I saw him the other day while we were doing some training together. And he tells me he's going to keep playing for another 3 years. So.
South Sydney the kick-off at 40 points to 6. There's Hasler off the field for the Seagulls. And his stats today, 21 tackles, 10 hit-ups. And of course, you've got to consider he was playing for much of the first half as dummy half, so those hit-ups have mainly come in the second half as Denny Moore has tackled. 15 metres out from his own line. There's 4 points left in this Manly outfit at the moment. There's Fulton for Gillespie. The right fin, the ball comes out the back door, then picked up by Gaberina, put down by Solomon Hamono. Quick turnover for Souths with Ridding tackled 10 metres out from the line. He tried to fashion a pass over the top there of Gaberina's head. Now with Field, then it goes across for McNicholas. The big fella got the arms free and the ball pops forward. On the second tackle for South Sydney, in the blink of an eye, Manly back in possession.
McNichol, who's played quite well today, looking for a miracle ball round the corner. Not too many players capable of doing that. And the strong man of defence forced it loose.
Here go the Seagulls. Cliffy Lyons, short ball for Menzies. He had Innes on the outside, then picks up Opawate and ricocheted off his chest and now fielded by the Rabbits. So turnover for Denny O'Keefe. It's not a straight line in defence for Manly. O'Keefe makes the most of it and cut down there by Gartner 40 metres out from the Seagulls line. Robinson in a dummy half, so some quick turnover of possession. Picks up the pace of the match as Hancock tackled this time, 32 out from the Manly line. The Rabbitohs just 6 points next to their name. And this is Bell going across field. He needs a teammate. He finds McQuirter. He dummies to nobody, to the linesman, who for a moment thought the ball was going to come his way. Brown's in a dummy half, 20 out from the Manly line. Bell for field. A dummy that time to Sinclair. Then McNicholas is picked up. He offloads with a loose pass for field. Then finds McKell, taken high by Gaberina. He slips a pass out the back. It's blanket football by the Rabbitohs for Redding, then for Mellor. Well, they've used the full width of the field. The net gain is 0 metres. So just inside the Manly 20. This is Craigfield. Back they come to the left side with Bell. He finds a runner in Salvatore. Not hitting the line at all now, though, as Field offloads for Sinclair. The chip over the top, covered up by Cliffy Lyons, and back it comes for Shannon Nevin. Just nothing doing for the Rabbitohs. And now Sinclair's thrown a punch over the top, and then he's thrown 2 and 3. And he's going to find himself in a bit of trouble, and I don't think they missed either the punches from Jason Sinclair. Shannon Nevin's okay. They connected, but there wasn't much force there. There's not a mark on the face of Shannon Nevin after he copped 3 around the head. Well, what caused him?
Well, there's a bit of a flop and Nevin trying to get up, and you can see Sinclair's holding him down. He's thrown a couple which have hit fresh air.
It's a good look. No need for a comb in Jason's house. So the report comes from the touch judge that Sinclair started it, and a shake of the head from Jason Sinclair. It's been a frustrating day for the Bunnies. Down by 40 points to 6. And that was the first physical show of their problems. There's Manly now from 30 out from their own line. Fulton. It's time for Menzies. On for Hamono. He's lost it. Picked up there by McKell, then away for Hancock. Hancock on the outside for Mellor. Hello, the Rabbitohs can get a try. Mellor can't get to the line. Thought about a double movement. And while he thought about that, his legs went over the sideline.
Yes, good desperation defence. You know, a team that's leading by 40 to 6. They still don't like having their try line crossed, and Jack Elsgood, he's pulled out a pearler there on Mellor.
Mellor trying to get that ball over the try line, and all the time he was doing that, Elsgood was just concentrating on getting his legs over the sideline. That's what he did, and Manly with a scrum feed and long pass across to Denny Moore, right across the face of goal. Denny Moore had some pressure on him there as Lyons from dummy half now. Manly with Scott Fulton. Dummy to the right, he's able to stand in the tackle back to Jack Elsgood, making good ground in traffic, Manly. Over the 20 that time. And play stopped by Corin Redding. This is Fulton for Gaberina. This time with Gartner. Well, he just steps through the defence. A weak attempt to tackle around the outside for Tooby. Then for Menzies. Now the chase is on. The pace of Stephen Menzies. Away firstly from Brown, then away from Bell. And that is 4 tries to Stephen Menzies, and everyone in the crowd is applauding for this tremendous player. Stephen Menzies, 4 tries for Manly.
Well, it's just a try-a-thon for Steve Menzies today. The Beaver has been right on the spot. All tries have just involved simple backing up procedures for him. Daniel Gartner's had a great game for Manly today as well. Made quite a few busts. Tooby's on the spot. Nice short ball. Little question mark over it, but Menzies is away in the Souths. Winger and 5'8". Not enough pace to catch him.
Is it too late to get on him for leading try scorer this year?
I think it might be now.
4 next to his name. And there he is. He's outpaced the big winger Brown and got away from Bell as well. Nevin. 10 in from touch this time. And 23 metres out. Plenty of heads down behind the goal line for South Sydney. Shannon Nevin, 2 from 2. This one curling back, not quite. So 2 from 3. That's full time. Convincing effort from the minor premiers of 95. They're off and rolling and in top gear to start the season. Manly have wiped out South Sydney here at Brookvale, 44 points to 6.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports in partnership with the National Rugby League.